Now, it is a very sensitive, a very tricky, hugely legalistic area, and of course it is fraught with emotion as well, and that is the rights of fathers when it comes to custody of their children. I said it's really, really very, very difficult area, but it can be explained, and Sam Butt is here in studio to throw a little light on the subject. Sam, thank you for coming in. When we're talking about custody of children for fathers, separated fathers and so on,
Sure.
in the UK particularly, been huge amounts of representations made. You've guys getting up on the roof of the Houses of
Yes.
Parliament, all of this sort of stuff. It seems that men end up in second place in these situations.
Well, there's a funny quote that I remember from Dr. Charles Okori. He's a famous psychologist in the States, and it was rather amusing when I first read it, which says a man has to be criminally insane to marry and a drooling idiot to sire a child. So when I started researching and when Families, Fathers and Friends came into being, fortunately for me, I don't give up easy. So when I started doing research into family law and such issues, it doesn't just affect Ireland. It's almost a pandemic that started from North America. States is embroiled in huge problems with that. And the research that I was doing, including Czech Republic, then Japan, Australia, it seems that nobody's immune to it. People talk about rights of fathers. It's okay, I mean, there's a few things that are missing in there, especially like the rights of unmarried fathers who don't have any legal rights unless they obtain legal guardianship.
But married fathers, parents separate,
Yep.
child is left in the middle. By and large in this country, they will put the child into the sole custody of the mother because they believe that's what's best for the child. Is it?
Well, okay, that's a perception. I mean, we still work around the Constitution. People tend to forget there is no special mention of a mother
In the Constitution?
in the Constitution. Yeah. It is under her personal rights as a woman, or as a homemaker, she's granted under Articles 40.1, 2, 3, 40.3, 40.4. All it states is because the mother was the nucleus of the family as a homemaker. So one thing, she cannot face economic necessity, so she has to go to work. So the state undertakes to protect. And if the family is unfit, then the state undertakes to take up the role of a guardian. So when people talk about rights of fathers, under the European law, which is being incorporated into Irish family law, and it takes precedence, there it comes down to the legal practices. Solicitors, barristers, judges, they're very, very poorly trained. They are not up to date with what EU law is all about.
Okay, well let's leave that aside to one,
Okay.
and let's get back to just away from the legalese and back to the more
Absolutely.
the kind of the human issues.
Absolutely.
You end up in a situation where the bottom line is that there can be terrible difficulties over access to children.
Absolutely.
How are you going with your organisation, your Families, Fathers and Friends? How are you trying to help people through this difficulty?
Well, see, the core of the charity when it was set up was that when I went through and I reached, including the Taoiseach's department, and there was a lady, senior civil servant, I won't mention her name, and she says, I'm so sorry, there is nothing in the country to cater for what people like you are looking for. Now, I had an exceptional case where I was, in any circumstances, I could declare myself as a primary carer. When I came across the court system, the onus was that everything starts with the mother. And it's a question of, you have to be here with the wallet, and what do we take out of it? Take into consideration.
And no more. It's nothing.
And
to
no
do
more.
With, nothing to do with relationships or love
Nothing.
or
Nothing whatsoever. So I mean, monetary means children go with the mother. No case to prove. Half the time you're not allowed to speak or make representations. Solicitors or barristers saying, look, the judge doesn't like it. Don't say anything. And you say, well, how in God's name is he going to decide my case? Take into consideration principle of family law, best interest of the child.
But then can you have a situation where the court decides that a father, for no reason, has no access to his children?
Absolutely. There's a game that's played in family law. Men, they're in their infancy when it comes to family law. Women are about 30 years ahead of us. They have an excellent support system. We have no support system, next to nothing. Very tiny amounts around the country, men's groups. We need core funding to provide a proper service. So where the service comes from is identified, men need counselling. straight away when they're facing the system, otherwise they go to pieces. So if you get a man into court who has no prior knowledge of how the system works, every man I've spoken with, and highly educated men, and said, we went to court to seek justice. Now, I love what Justice McGuinness said of the third program of law reform. She says, Sam, we are not there to impart justice. We apply law. And sometimes we do it poorly.
But then, of course, the law doesn't favour you either.
No, in actual fact, legislation, there's not much wrong with that. If you read family law, it does not mention father or mother. It talks about primary care, it talks about spouses, and it talks about the paramount welfare of the child. The only thing missing in there is that unmarried fathers don't have any legal rights or automatic legal rights. But the third program of law reform, the first consultation paper that's been launched, it actually addresses the rights of unmarried fathers.
Okay, if people want help from your organisation or
Absolutely.
assistance, what do they do?
What do they do? Usually they pick up a phone.
Is there website?
There's a website. It's called www.fathers.ie. And funny thing is, on the World Wide Web, if you just put the word fathers, the website comes on top.
Right. Okay. So it's obviously well populated by visitors. It's obviously it's a big story. And where do you want to take this? Where do you want to take this advisory group?
Where do we want to take this? I mean, like I said, we've identified a model that men need counseling, they need intervention, they need advice, they need support. They are very, very naive. Also, they need educational workshops. We are providing all of that. This has already been taken to Dáil Éireann. It's been taken to 5 different ministers. It's been taken to senior civil servants. Even this morning, there are 2 deputies who had a meeting with senior staff last night, and I got a call to say it's looking favourable. So after 5 years of just getting compliments, all I asked for them was to provide core funding. Just core funding. It's already been identified by the Family Support Agency that we can give you small grants. Sam, what you need is core funding, and you need this model to be taken around the country. Because right now, as the country stands, Ireland was built on the values of a family. The very core of our family is being destroyed. Dr. Carol Coulter acknowledged that our court system is absolutely shambolic. We need reformation to the court service. We need upgrading of family law. We cannot afford, by what the former Chief Justice said, that the law is always 50 years behind in time. No, we want the law to come into the current times and stay in touch. Law Reform Commission, they made, when they submitted their report, I think it's about 28 years gone, and they said we need dedicated family codes.
That was 28 years ago. Nothing's changed. Okay.
Nothing's changed.
No, okay, Sam, thank you very much for coming on and for the work you do. That's Sam Butt there, who is behind Fathers, Families and Friends. Fathers.ie is the website. He's an advocate for change in terms of the law and also the way that fathers are treated in respect of their family rights and the rights to access and so on to their children. Okay, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at sport with Mike McCarthy. Join us then.